Well, good morning. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you, and I want to thank Paul Reid for the invitation to come and share with you something about the work and ministry of Mission Aviation Fellowship. I don't know how familiar you are with our ministry, but as an organisation, MEF began after the terrible conflict of the Second World War. RAF pilots and engineers and like-minded people during the war years got together regularly to pray and to seek God's guidance that maybe they could use aviation for good rather than ill. As the Second World War came to a conclusion, MEF was born. Born in London with the first office in 1945, just 6 short weeks after the war came to an end. 2020 saw MEF celebrate its 75th anniversary. And as we move into our 76th year of unbroken service, MEF are confident of this, that we will continue to bring the love of Jesus through the practical application of faith. As an organisation, MEF support well in excess of 2,000 different organisations. Organisations such as Médecins Sans Frontières, Tear Fund, the World Health Organization, the Baptist Mission Society, and many, many other organisations who depend on us day and daily. But from these early beginnings in 1945, the organisation has grown quite significantly. From one aeroplane in 1945, we are now flying around 140 aircraft all around the developing world. Whether it be Central South America, Africa, Central and Southeast Asia, and as far south as the likes of Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and Arnhem Land. We truly are a global organisation, and such is the demand and the need of those people who are living in poverty and spiritual darkness. MEF of aeroplanes taking off and landing every 4 minutes. Every 4 minutes of every single day, we are there delivering food, medicine, healthcare, education, construction, water purification. But it doesn't matter how you quantify what we do. The one thing that we do above and beyond anything else is the delivery of hope. Hope where there doesn't seem to be any way forward. Hope where people are facing uncertain futures. Hope where people do not see a way out of their current predicaments or environment. And if MEF can reach into these people's lives, then we can make the world of a difference. This morning I'm going to be sharing some videos, some photographs of what we've been doing over the last 12 months. We know that the world is facing truly uncertain times as we battle this pandemic of the coronavirus. But even though here in the affluent West we have access to healthcare, food and medicine, we have roofs over our head and food on our tables, we can turn on a tap in the kitchen or the bathroom and we're guaranteed of fresh, clean drinking water flowing. But in the developing world, that's not always the case. And when something like this comes across their path, how do they isolate? How do they prepare? How do they equip? How do they provide for their families? Well, that's where MEF and over 2,000 of our partner organisations come in. I'm going to show you a very short video just now that will give you a real insight into the work and ministry of MEF. And after that, we're going to be looking at a different aspect of our work and our ministry. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a flight of a lifetime.
We need MAF.
MAF is essential to the work of MEDA.
MAF flies them in and often flies them home again.
And if we could get an aeroplane in here and get people a decent medical attention as quick as we could, then that gives us a lot of comfort.
We need MAF.
MAF is essential to the work of MEDA.
MAF flies them in and often flies them home.
I'm Lizzie Wood. I work for MEDA in the DR Congo. We support rural health clinics, bridge rehabilitation sites and community water projects throughout the northeast region. The distances are vast between the different areas. The roads are limited. The whole region is covered in thick jungle. MAF is essential to the work of MEDA. If we weren't able to fly between our different bases, fly to get to these rural health clinics, we wouldn't be able to do our work. We wouldn't be able to reach vulnerable people. We wouldn't be able to respond to outbreaks of diseases. It would be impossible to function.
So one of our challenges as a clinic here is to make access to cesarean a reality. And to do that, we need MAF to be able to get to our peripheral clinics, to be able to get there fast enough that a mom can get there and get back within a few hours. More women will get a cesarean, and less women will have to die without it.
My eye patients, because of MAF, I'm able to get way up into the northeast of the country where travel by car would take me weeks.
First of all, my name is Thierry. I'm the head of mission of MSF Suisse here based in Bounia. Thanks to MAF, we are able to transport our expatriates and national staff to the different locations where we are working.
We've got a tall stick and a short stick here. This indicates that we have an anti-tank mine, 5 or 6 kilos of high explosive, with an anti-personnel mine underneath. Now that's particularly dangerous. An anti-personnel mine only really needs the weight of a person to set it off. You can have a person step on this, huge explosion. It'll wipe out a lot of people. Anybody standing around it will be wiped out by that.
If we, God forbid, have an accident in the minefields, then it's a long drive back to Wambo. It's a full day's drive, and if we could get an aeroplane in here and get people to decent medical attention as quick as we could, then that gives us a lot of comfort, really.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little partnership video, and it demonstrates how important it is for people to work together. But working together is not something that's new. It's not a concept that's just appeared in society. Working together is very much a biblical principle, and the importance of that is borne out no more so than when we read in Philippians chapter 1 and verses 4 and 5, where Paul writes to the church in Philippi. He says, "In all my prayers for all of you, I always pray with joy because of your partnership in the gospel from the first day until now." Working together is very much a biblical principle. It doesn't matter what you're facing, whether you're in the mountaintop or in the deepest, darkest valley. Working together as a Christian community allows us to use the strengths, the gifts, the talents and the abilities that are God-given. Not many people I know can fly an aeroplane. Not many people I know are equipped to mechanically maintain an aircraft. But then again, not everyone is a preacher or a teacher. Not everyone is a chef or a school teacher. We all have to use the gifts that we have so that we can see suffering alleviated all around the developing world. Here at home, and of course overseas, where people don't have the same access to resources that we do. But I think the one thing that really comes from this couple of verses is the importance that Paul puts in prayer. Every time I remember you, I pray with joy. But why does he pray with joy? Well, he prays with joy because of partnership in the gospel. And as Christians, we are called to take the gospel wherever we go. Some people are called to take the gospel to their own communities, their own households sometimes. And some are called to go further afield. But wherever it is you're called to go, we are called to go together, to pray for and support one another, to enable and equip those who've been called to go further afield. This last year has seen MEF and the demands on us increase quite dramatically. The coronavirus, COVID-19, has brought destruction and devastation to communities and families all around those who are facing uncertainty. I'm going to show you just some photographs and tell you a little bit about them and what it is that MEF have been doing. You may want to take some notes so that you can pray for the work and these communities. Pray for the pilots and engineers as they reach into the heart of the issue. We know here in the UK that in March 2020, the country went into lockdown. As it went into lockdown, the government decided that it would pay salaries to encourage people to stay at home. We had an access to an incredible team who worked for the National Health Service. And all of these things worked together to enable the country to get through it as best they could. Yes, we're still struggling, but we're in a better position than many in the developing world. These photographs will help us identify the importance of Christian mission, the importance of reaching in to people's lives. So these photographs, I'm sure, will inspire you, encourage you, so that you know what God is doing in these difficult and challenging times. In the far remote reaches of the nation, it's important that we can get there as quickly as possible. And when you look at these roads, if people had to travel along these routes, they would have infected so many other people as they stop for food and shelter and fuel. But from Liberia, we move on to Papua, and we had to resort to, in Papua, a new way of communicating. We resorted to dropping leaflets to encourage folks to look at health and hygiene, isolation and protecting themselves in these difficult times. And then Bangladesh, MEF were called to Burdasban. The country was in complete lockdown, but MEF as a first responder were able to get to the area and rescue the people. And as the UK was facing PPE shortages, MEF were flying it to remote clinics and hospitals in Madagascar. It just shows you how important it is. And working with our partners, Oxfam and Timor-Leste, we flew out buckets for clean water along with soap so that people could practice health and hygiene. Sadly, in August of 2020, Stuart King, the founder member of MEF, went to glory. 1922 to 2020. We thank him for his service over so many years. I want to now show you another short video that really encapsulates the importance of working together. was such an incredible video. It allows you to see how, as we work together as Christians, we pass on what God has placed in our hands to encourage and to support others. A little wooden aeroplane given by a young girl in the 50s continues here in 2021 to continue to bless, to encourage, and to give people that hope for a brighter tomorrow. If you've been inspired by what you've heard and seen today, if you want to go on a global journey with MEF, I invite you to visit our website, www.mef-uk.org/discover. And if you go there and sign up, we will send you, over the course of a year, 5 emails. And these emails will allow you to be transported to parts of the world that you may never have heard of, let alone visited. The 5 communications, well, the first one will take you to South Sudan, and that's where MEF began its ministry in 1945. From South Sudan we will travel further south and we will go to Tanzania. After Tanzania we will take you to Madagascar, and from Madagascar we will take you to Papua New Guinea. After the year is up, our final communication, well, if you want to know where that destination is, please visit our website, www.mef-uk.org/discovery, and we will send you these in a kind of bi-monthly fashion so that you, over the year, visit these 5 destinations. So I want to thank you for allowing me to come and share something of the work and ministry of MEF with you today. I hope you've been blessed, I hope you've been inspired, and I hope you've been maybe challenged to pray and to join us in that journey. So until we have an opportunity to meet again, may the Lord bless you. May He continue to use you wherever you are so that you can be the messengers and the carriers of the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. Thanks again. Bye-bye just now.